Everyone. Welcome into the show. Happy Saturday. Stress-free weekend for us Baltimore Ravens fans. Hendo, how are you tonight?
I am well. I am stressed, but I am well.
Uh-oh. Why are you, when I say stress-filled weekend, I mean, I'm sure that there are normal stressors of life that happen, okay? But I meant
Mhm.
specifically as it relates to the Ravens not having a game this weekend. The Ravens flock, the Ravens fan base can kind of relax. But why are
Oh,
you stressed, if you care to
because
share?
this is day 7.
Yes.
We have live streamed for 7 straight days. Listen, shout out to Engraven, shout out to Nitro, shout out to Coach Evans, shout out to anybody that puts out content each and every single day. What does it do? Kevin Ostriker over there at Locked On Ravens, whomever it is that puts out content on a daily, I salute you guys. I'm worn out. And no one would think that just getting behind a camera and talking and just, sharing their opinions could just be such a daunting task. Finding the information, doing all this preparing and all. Yeah. It's not stress free for me because I'm tired. Your boy tired.
Well, the
I'm
good thing is
I's tired. I's tired.
the good thing is we only have 31 days in the month of December, and we are streaming every day for the 31 days, or we will be releasing a video on our respective channels. So, I mean, we're almost in the halfway mark. I mean,
You,
like
you said
another
that last
week.
night.
I know,
You said
right?
that last night. It's not. It's,
We are just getting started, but it's a lot of fun. So, want to give a warm welcome to those who've already joined us in the chat. I see you, realistic Washington fan. Thank you for being here. John Parsons, good evening. Just Tornado, one of my channel members. Thank you. Huge shout out to you, Just Tornado. And Images by Gretchen. Want to take a moment to say thank you to my accountability group. Thank you. We have so many fans of different teams. We have a Seattle Seahawks fan in Gretchen. We have Alicia, who is a Lions fan, but they come out and they support me. So I'm grateful. So thank you.
and and the new person
And
soon to be a Baltimore fan.
who is that?
The whatever the Washington one was.
Oh, lead Washington Commander?
Oh, I thought you said it was by another name. Something about a
No,
Washington area fan or something.
realistic Washington fan. That's a different person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna be realistically a Baltimore fan. We're gonna swap. Get them to come to the right side of history.
Ah, yeah. Listen, Gretchen, she said 7 days does not reach half. I have to tell myself this, okay? Because I'm taking it day by day. Gretchen, no, listen, I have to take it day by day because if I think about, wait, 31 days live
31
streaming?
days.
Oh,
No,
boy.
no. First of all, nobody said 31 days of live streaming.
I know,
No
but
one said 31 days of live. That's not going to happen.
I know it's not. Next week, we will not be live every day. Not every day. No,
She said
Lonely
that. She said
Therapy.
that now.
I know, right? No, Lonely Therapy. You didn't miss it. You missed. Nope. We're just getting started. Good evening to
Yeah.
you, John Parsons. Thank you all. Sylvester Slicer 59. Thank you, Kamal Porter. Yes, I see you. Thank you. All
Good
right.
job.
So, Zach, bro, this team, we're going to talk about it. So, last night we did a Purple Friday Q&A, and that show was only supposed to be like 30 minutes, but you guys had some fire questions. So this is kind of like part two. If you have a question, anything that you want to ask us, drop it in the chat. Please preface your question with a Q colon. It just makes it easier for me to find the comments as we go along tonight. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat. Hendo and I will be happy to answer them for you. We have a few
100%.
questions of our own.
Yes.
We do. So we will ask the questions of you in the chat. And while you're getting in, as Tora says, she's sliding into her seat ready for the live stream. As you come in the building, go ahead, hit the like button. And if you are new, welcome. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel. I see we already have a first question, so we're just going to get right into it. So we're not here all night like we were last night.
Thanks.
First question is coming in from the kid. Do y'all think we'll beat Pittsburgh? That was one of the questions that I had on my list. So the kid, you read my mind. You read my mind. Hendo, I'll let you start with it.
As most of you know, I'm a supremely confident person in my team. Supremely confident. In the last 5 years, 6 years, whenever we go up against Pittsburgh, whenever we face our most hated rivals, my brother and I, we get into a war words. We really don't speak that much that week until pretty much after the game. And no matter what the records are, I'm always confident that the Ravens are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. But being a person that loves history, especially recent history, I am not confident that the Ravens are going to beat Pittsburgh. Every time I think that we have the superior team, every time I'm like, listen, we are 8-2 and they are 2-6. And I'm like, this is a wrap. Somehow Mike Tomlin and the Steelers always seem to just snatch that victory right from underneath us. So do I think that we'll beat them? I'm not supremely sure. I'm going to say yes because I'm a Ravens fan and this is a Ravens channel, but my confidence level between 1 and 10 is a 2 because we have not proven that we have not proven that we can beat them. And I know a lot of people are going to say, listen, Lamar Jackson did not play in a lot of those games. He did not, but Lamar is 1-5 versus Pittsburgh. So in 6 tries, he has 1 win. We also have an issue where is the locker room disjointed at this moment? We're having some issues offensively. The last 3 games, we have not played very well offensively. And during some of that stretch run of where the Ravens were losing to the Steelers, we've had the best defense in the league. Right now, we don't have the best defense in the league, and we have an offense that's sputtering. So that doesn't give me a lot of confidence that the Ravens can win. But because I'm a Ravens fan, heck yeah, we gonna win. Maybe.
Okay, now if you would mind giving me the answer where you're keeping it 100% real. Not
Wait
I'm a
a
Ravens
minute.
fan. Yeah, not where you're keeping it. I'm a Ravens fan, and I have to say this, but tell me, keep it 100% real. Like Zach said, let's keep it real. What's your response? Okay,
Keeping it a bean, keeping it a
that's it.
ball.
Mm-hmm.
We losing. Listen, we lost the last time. They kicked 6 field goals and won. Russell Wilson is finding his groove. He's finding who his main target is, and then they brought in Mike Williams. They're doing some things. They're running the ball a lot better. Their offensive line is starting to gel, and their defense is actually picking up. So to me, from what I'm seeing, looking at it from a coach-to-coach peer standpoint, we're not winning that game. I hope we win that game, but we're not winning that game.
Okay. The reality is, as much as I would like to say, yes, we are going to win, I'm not very confident that that will be the final result. The reason being is because after 13 weeks, we've still seen a very inconsistent Baltimore Ravens team, whether it be on offense, and earlier in the season, they were okay. They were doing great, good, even great, being able to put points on the board easily. Defense was lagging.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've seen defense pick up the pace and the offense starts to lag. And then we throw into this equation to put icing on the cake, special teams being a huge question mark. That being said, we look at the last game against Pittsburgh. They beat us by field goals. Field goals. Right. We don't know if we can rely on Justin Tucker to give us the game-winning field goal. Now, I know we're going to say, well, we shouldn't have to put him in that situation. You're right, but he gets paid. That's a part of his job. So,
physics.
The answer to your question is no. I don't think we're going to win. As much as I want us to, I don't see it. I don't see it. So,
Steve-O said, Tom in the halls reminds him of the 2 coaches from the Water Boy. Yeah, I can see Halls on the phone. I hate him. Like, and if you have a rival and you can never beat them, you develop a form of hate. There's a form of respect, but there's a form of hate. But like you said, it's on paper.
Yeah.
On paper, by every measurable, we should be dominating Pittsburgh, but it is a rivalry game. Yeah. Mike Tomlin said it, and we repeated this many times over, that, listen, the Ravens are predictable. They go off of analytics. Like, we know how the game is going to turn out. And if you watch the games, no matter if the Ravens are winning or losing, Mike Tomlin looks unbothered. He just looks like, all right, fourth quarter, everything's about to change. And unfortunately, until we can prove that we can beat Pittsburgh, to me, this is not going to be a championship level team, because you have to go step by step. You have to beat your division rival first. Then we have to learn how to conquer Kansas City and Pat Mahomes. And to a question that I saw saying, do you think that Lamar should run more? That was a question that I was going to bring up. That, do I think that Lamar Jackson should run more? Because that has been a topic of discussion everywhere. For the past few games in the AFC Championship last year, even though the tape speaks for itself, saying that Lamar really didn't have the lanes to run. And I understand Pat Mahomes, he does pick his spots. Lamar picks his spots as well. But the one thing for me, the reason that I believe Lamar doesn't have to run more, because he's not the running back, A, but B, when it comes to quarterbacks and throws outside the pocket, he leads the NFL with a 91.8 rating. So he is the best when he breaks the pocket and scrambles around and throws the ball downfield. So why am I asking my quarterback to run and potentially get hurt when I know that he is the best at making good out of a bad situation? So for the people that say, well, Lamar needs to run more, Lamar needs to run more. No, Lamar just needs to win the game. Lamar needs to come out of the game healthy, unscathed. That's what Derrick Henry's for. Now, it is on the offensive coordinator to scheme up things for Derrick Henry. And we've seen in games that when Derrick Henry doesn't get going early or teams start to stop us, Todd Monken seems to go away from the run. Now, the thing that I will say that I do need Lamar to do is scrap that. He need to hit the Willie Beeman. He need to, any given Sunday, and start calling his own plays in the huddle, in my opinion, and just run the game from that. Because I think Lamar, with the on-field knowledge that he's gained throughout the years, I think he's better prepared in situations to call out certain plays than Todd Monken. Because Todd Monken, as great as he's been on and off throughout the season, there are times that he loses me. Like, it is just pitiful that we, after all these years, haven't learned the winning formula for success for this team, even though we've shown it in wins and we've not displayed it in the losses.
Yeah. The thing that I'm going to say is the fact that we only have 2 weeks before we play the Steelers. We don't have a lot of time to clean up mistakes. And we should have been working on cleaning up mistakes weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. But here we are in the latter half of the season, down the stretch, and we're still dealing with the same issues that were plaguing us early in the season. So with that, there was a comment from Slicer59. Tomlin owns Harbaugh, and that's it. I don't know what it is with Harbaugh and, the coaches. They panic when we play Mike Tomlin. And B. James, hey there. Good to see you. Glad you're here. He had a question. Why is it that when we play the Steelers, it's Steelers week, and how come it's not Ravens week? I don't know. I've never thought about that. But Hendo, has it ever been a situation where it's been a Ravens week?
It's Ravens week for Steelers fans. It's Ravens week for Cincinnati fans. It's Ravens week for Baltimore fans. I mean, for Browns fans. And I understand where he's going. Like, during the Steelers week, we should be pumping up. It's Ravens week, but we're just trying to be so hyper focused on the task at hand, knowing that this is our most heated rival, knowing that this is the team that we emulated ourselves after. When we became a franchise once again, we looked at Pittsburgh and said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to run the ball and play hard-nosed defense." So it's like looking at yourself in the mirror and hating thyself to an extent. So, yeah, I mean, we could call it Ravens week, but unfortunately, regardless of whatever way you try to spin it, it's Steelers week, because the Steelers have been owning us for the last several years. So technically it is Steelers week because they're the ones that's been winning.
Well, I'm not very confident. I hope we will win. I do. I want us to win. That's the Raven fan in me. I want it.
Thanks.
I do.
Thanks.
But again, as I say all the time, the evidence shows and history has demonstrated that we struggle. We struggle mightily when we go up against the Steelers. No matter how good our roster is in comparison to theirs, it doesn't matter. We still find ourselves on the opposite end of victory.
All right. So. Justin said, why the Ravens scared versus elite defenses. I don't think we're scared versus elite defenses because to me, last season, when we played the 49ers, that is by far from front to back one of the best defenses you are going to face, technically. I mean, statistically, you can say Kansas City, but from front to back, player to player, man to man, the 49ers are the best defense that we played last season, and we dominated them offensively. Dominated. I don't think that we're scared to play anybody. Like, regardless of how we speak about the players on this team, this is Baltimore. Like, we are the Ravens. It's not as much of a mystique that it used to be, but we have guys that get after it. I just think that we have a mentality, and it starts from leadership on down, that when we get in certain situations and we start losing, we get down by 2 points, we go into panic mode. Like
Yes.
2 points in the first quarter and you're panicking. And
Yes.
I think that starts from the top. And it's not that we're scared. I just think that we're undisciplined and ill prepared.
Exactly. And that goes to Justin's question. Hey there, Justin. Thanks for being here. Why are the Ravens scared versus elite defenses? I'll start with that.
That's what
I
I
think
just
it's because
read.
right, I know, but I wanted to answer that myself. I think it's because the Ravens inherently know that their trenches on the O-line don't have what it takes to get it done. I think they know that, okay, we're good enough to be just good enough going against certain defenses. But when we, like you said, Justin, when we are playing those elite teams, we get scared because we know who we are. And we get exposed for being who we are.
I don't know. I mean, the San Francisco game, the Kansas City game last season in the playoffs.
I mean,
Like
this year.
outside of, but I mean,
But
we
our
weren't
offensive line this year is much worse
much.
than
It is much worse, but
was last year. So he didn't specify in his
I mean,
question.
we played Kansas City well the first game of the season
Right, but I mean,
with
let's
this
keep it
same
in
offensive
context.
line.
That's the first game of the season. Everybody's a bit rusty, especially for the teams that don't play their starters in the preseason. I mean,
But defenses aren't normally rusty. Coming into seasons, defense has a leg up on offenses when it comes to the start of the season.
they have a
Because
leg up.
but
I'm sorry.
Right. But our offense played well against that defense with the leg up, with the starters not playing well in this, and that iteration of the offensive line was the worst of the offensive line that we've had all season.
Mercy.
And we held our own. I don't think that we're scared. Now, granted, you hit it on the head 100%. This offensive line isn't what it is. But Lamar masked so many things with this offensive line, it doesn't matter. I don't think that they're scared. I just think it's ill preparedness from this team, because we can go. We have not been blown out. Like in the games that we lost, we've not been blown out in any game. So to be scared, I mean, these grown men putting their bodies on the line, I don't think many of them are scared.
We play scared. Whether we are or we're not, we play scared. And to your point, Hendo, it was the
Playing
first game.
scared, being scared are two different things.
Right. That's why I said we play scared. Now, if you want to say that is being scared or however
Shout
you
out
want to
Joker.
shake it. But hey, little Joker, that's one of my channel members. Thank you for being here. He said he is watching me on his phone and Rogue Pod on his TV. That is double support. Go ahead and turn on your burner account. We know you have one on your second device.
You don't even have to turn on the burner. You can use both. You can use both. You can use the same account on different devices, I guess.
Okay, well, there you go. See, that's it. I appreciate it. But what I was going to do what Lil Joker said. If you're here, go ahead and hit the like button for us. And if you're new, welcome, subscribe, join the family. But going back to what you said, Hendo, I tend to disagree. Yes, that first game against the Chiefs, their defense, we held our own. We lost it by, as we all know, just a toenail. But in the first game of the season, I don't expect defenses, even though they might have, like you said, a leg up on offenses, they still have not rounded into form. There's still a lot of room to grow, even for the Kansas City Chiefs. First game of the season. Now,
the defense being ahead of the offense, ahead of the offense by miles when it comes to the first game of the season. You're saying that the defense has a way to go. Offenses have even further to go than the defenses do, and we still played well. So that nullifies that argument right there.
The only thing I ask is I see a lot of people in here, some new faces. We keep it clean around here. If you can please make sure you do that, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. No disrespect. We don't do that around here.
Yes.
Only person disrespecting people is Yolanda disrespecting me.
d- Stop it. Stop it. Now I lost where I was going. Hold on one second. I don't remember now, but we'll pick up right here with Anthony Jackson. It happens. Anthony, welcome in. The word for the Ravens offense is predictable, inconsistent.
100%.
Inconsistent, I would add to that. But yes, we'll go there. We'll go with that. In the same situations, especially Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And remember, we play both of those teams
Again.
in the remaining 4 games that we have. 5 games. We play both of those teams. Is it 4 games left? Okay. Giants, Steelers, Texans, Browns. Okay. In the remaining 4, we play both of those. So we don't have room for predictability. We don't have room for inconsistency. That is something else. I'm going to try to pronounce your name. It's a new avatar. And if I get it wrong, please correct me. But to me, that is
Hoy Gwen?
I don't think it's Hoy. No, because the AI is I. So
How? Excuse me for butchering.
Nguyen. I'm gonna call you.
No, it's Gwen. That's Gwen. That's not Nguyen. It's Gwen.
I've met too many people who pronounce their name, spell it exactly the same, and they're
really the 99% that I've met pronounce it Gwen.
I had a former coworker, Nguyen, Nguyen. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell how to pronounce that person's name.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Only they can tell us.
Only this person can tell us. I love when we are dominating y'all. Pittsburgh runs the North. Okay. Did you run it last year?
I'm just saying. Y'all beat us, but
you beat us, right? But you don't run
last time y'all had a division title? When the last time y'all had a division title?
You don't run the North.
Riddle me that, Batman. When?
Trying to make sure I'm not missing any questions. But Jay the Six, welcome in.
What's
more
up, Jay?
More Hendo and Yolanda. Yeah. Okay.
She tricked me again.
I did not. Oh, stop that. You need to stop it. But
like Gwen. Okay.
Gwen. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Good. So neither of us were right.
That's what I said. Gwen.
I know.
Once again, you'll hit me up later on and be like, Hendo, you was right.
Here he goes with that. You're right. Yeah. Benny, hey there. Ravens don't have O-line to be bullies. Yeah, they don't.
100%.
They don't.
None of them.
That's scared is very strong. I mean,
that's a very strong word. I don't think many grown men playing a violent sport. I don't think they're scared.
Well, they need to stop acting like it, whether they are internally or not. Go out, go out there and play your game. Don't cower to another team. And it doesn't matter who is scared, whether it's John Harbaugh or the players. It doesn't matter. These are, like you said, they're all grown men. Go out there and don't, so what? Okay, if you're down 1 score first quarter, game's not over. You got a lot of game left to play. BJ says, go ahead.
I'm just going to read the comment.
We haven't had an elite team since Ozzie Smith stepped down. Ooh, talk about it, Hendo.
Ozzie Smith? The baseball player? St. Louis Cardinals? I loved Ozzie Smith, but for Ozzie Newsome, in my opinion, 2019 was a truly elite team. 2019 was truly elite. Now, we may not have statistically been the greatest defense, but offensively, we were number 1. And nobody could stop us. Now, we took teams by surprise, but they were truly elite. 2023, our defense was elite. And our offense wasn't too far behind it. Even though we had some issues, those 2 teams were elite. And those 2 teams should have won Super Bowl. So I have to give a little bit of credit for the team that Eric DeCosta constructed in those 2 years. Well, 2019 was pretty much a holdover from Ozzie. But I got to give Eric a little credit for that one. But yes, those 2 teams to me were elite teams that should have been Super Bowl champions.
Big Reg. Oh, okay. Okay.
What's up, Large Reginald?
This is first of all. Go ahead, Hendo.
First of all, this is the same dude that said Caillou Blue Kelly was an elite cornerback who didn't even make it out of training camp, and he's now on his 7th team. Don't listen to Reg. Reg like to say things that he really don't mean.
Reg says the Ravens are about to lose the last 4 games. I disagree. And Reg, my question is, what evidence do you have that supports we are going to lose the last 4 games? Granted, I will give you Steelers is a toss-up.
Meh.
Steelers is a toss-up. I don't know that we're going to win. I would love us to, but Steelers is a toss-up. I'll give you that.
Right.
The Browns, we better beat the Browns. Like,
I don't know. Listen,
I don't know either.
I'm not saying we're gonna lose versus the Browns, but it's the last game of the season. Cleveland has nothing to play for, and
That's right.
Jameis Winston is going to throw the air out that ball because
Yeah.
he has. Listen, that may be his last game as a Brown, so they have nothing to be afraid of. They have nothing to play for. They can lay it all on the line. So that game, I don't know. And the Texans game, they don't like. They're not the Texans that I thought they were going to be because I had them at least the third best team in the AFC coming into the season, but yeah, they not
Yeah.
it. So we might not lose a game.
No, I mean, okay. So Giants, I think we can win. I think we will win that game. Then the next one,
That much.
then the next one is the Steelers. Again, I told you that's a question mark. That's a toss-up.
Right.
I think we can get it done. Will we? Who knows? What team we'll see. Who knows?
I mean, we could lose to the Giants. We play down to the level of our competition. We could.
I know.
I mean, it's highly unlikely, but it's a
I
possibility.
mean,
It could happen.
it could happen, right? But I still think I'm still taking the Ravens in that one.
Oh no, no doubt.
And then after the Steelers is, I think, Christmas Day, where we play
Who?
the Texans,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That
Yolanda will be streaming that game live. Make sure y'all check in.
You see how Hendo does this?
You told me
He
you
just-
were.
No, you said we would stream the Texans game on Christmas Day. You forgot what you said.
No. I
You
gave
did.
you Philly. I said 3 games. I gave you Philly. I gave you the next Steelers game and the playoff game. I told you 3. 3. You told me you were streaming Christmas.
No, I did not. I didn't. I never told you that. No, I never said that. I think you told me I was streaming. Kind of like you just did.
No accountability. No accountability. Oh wow.
I never said KBK was elite. You did.
You did.
You said that man was, he was top notch. Lunch break hot take. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Make sure y'all go over to Lunch Break Hot Take and check out my guys. Like they are over there doing amazing work. Amazing work. And if you like what we're doing, to me, they're 10 times better than I am. So make sure you go over there, check it out, and subscribe to them. We all have goals that we're trying to accomplish over here, and those are my dudes.
Yes.
Except for Bradley sometimes.
Ooh. Ouch. Ouch, Rodney.
What I miss?
I didn't say anything. We'll play down to the Texans. We better not.
Right.
I mean, your point is we'll play down to them. Yes, we can. It could very well happen, but it is Christmas Day. Ravens, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me. B. James said I meant
regressed. We know what you meant. No, that's cool. We know what you meant. I was just joking.
Oh, one and done. B. James, what do you mean? One and done. Playoffs? That's us?
Yes.
Right now? Wait. B. James, that's what you...
He's talking about, I was saying that 2019 and 2023 were elite. And in 2019, they were one and done. 2023, they won 1 game and went to the AFC Championship. I mean, just because listen, the Golden State Warriors had the best record that the NBA has ever had, and they didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Still doesn't mean that team wasn't elite, just means that they weren't champions.
All right. Steve-O, welcome into the show. Ravens finished 3-1, but the loss will be to the Squealers? ? Okay. But will the loss be to the Squealers? I don't know that we're going to finish 3-1. I can see 2-2. And again, that depends on how well we do against the Browns. That depends. So if we go 3-1, yes, I think the loss would be against the Steelers. If we go 2-2, that would be Steelers and Browns. I think we win against the Giants, and I think we win against the Texans. Not a guarantee. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a possibility we go 2-2. Because now that I think about it, the way that everything is positioned right now, the other teams in the AFC are horrible, and they're just not winning. So by the time we get to week 18, I know Brodney treats me like dirt. By the time we get to week 18, the Ravens playoff seed may already be set, so they don't need to play their starters in that game. So
He
that
can't say
way,
those types of things when I'm drinking water.
say
He
what type of
treats you.
things? Wow,
No,
yeah,
you
Brodney,
didn't say
Brodney treat.
wow. You
You don't
said
you don't see you don't see Brodney in the Discord. Like he just man, people just keep saying, does Brodney even like you? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. He's always coming for my throat.
maybe I need to go into the Discord a little bit more to see what's happening. But I don't think he treats you like dirt. He just said, treats you like dirt.
Sometimes.
Okay, Tora has a question. Which player do you think could step up as a game changer in these last few games? Excellent question. Number one would be Justin Tucker. I think he can step up. I mean, if I had to pick a player right now, it'd be Justin Tucker. Because if we did not leave those 7 points on the field last game against the Eagles, it could have been a very different outcome. And the reason I'm going with Justin Tucker is because he's demonstrated that he can do it for so long. For me to say, oh, I think Daniel Falele can step up, I don't have evidence that he can. Oh, I think Pat McCarry can step up.
That's even funnier.
I don't have evidence that he can. So I'm going to go with a player who, and I'll even throw Isaiah Likely in there, because the last couple of games he's been okay, but especially now with Bateman out, and we don't know. Drop it in the chat. Does anyone know who or what's happening with Bateman's injury? Has there been an update? Has anyone heard? Because I'm just not even factoring in Deontay Johnson right now, because we'll see. I have a question about him coming up in a few minutes, but those would be my picks. On defense, Roquan Smith. I don't know. What about you, Hendo? What player? Not coach. What player?
I mean, I'm believing these coaches can step up. What? It's for me. It's only one name, and it's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, because first 10 games of the season, Lamar has been out of this world. He's put the team on his back and done everything. These last 3 games, he has been. That's right. Jose is awesome. He is really awesome. The last 3 games, Lamar has not played bad, but he has not played up to the level that we've seen him the first 10 weeks of the season. Now, for me, why I say Lamar is because looking at him after the loss to the Eagles, I saw something in Lamar that I haven't seen before. Like, he actually got up on the podium and started cussing. And I've heard him bite his tongue and try not to curse. And I think that he's anxious and he's ready. And I think he's ready to take that next step in his evolution as the leader of this team. I think he's ready to put the team on his back and do whatever he needs to do to win. Now, unfortunately, that might mean he runs more because his mama cussed him out. And that's another thing. They reported that his mama cussed him out. Now I'm starting to see reports on articles about other people's mama. Like in Minnesota, Aaron Jones, his mama said he fumbling too much. Yeah, Lamar's a trendsetter. Everything that he and his mother does becomes news, and now they're trying to emulate it. But I just think that, for me, I think he needs to, and I don't want to compare him to other quarterbacks in the league, but I think he needs to do what some things that Patrick Mahomes does. When your offense ain't working, you make the plays to make it work and find a way to win a game. If your defense isn't playing well, you find a way. If your receivers aren't catching, you still find a way. And I think that he's ready to take that evolution, whether it's passing or running, to take this team to the next level, because just the look in his eyes, he's tired of losing, and he's tired of losing the same way. So for me, it's Lamar Jackson elevating his game even more, which I know he can do. Even at the level that he is right now, where he is a couple hundred yards off his career high with 4 games left, 3 interceptions that none of them were his fault. 29 passing touchdowns. I think that he can elevate his game even more, take more control of this offense, and regardless of what the offensive coordinator's calling, regardless of what John Harbaugh's trying to run, he can say, you know what, this is not what we're doing today. Today, we're going to play Lamar's game. And we've seen it a few times. We've seen it in the second half versus the Houston Texans in the playoff game. That first half, when we were losing, and things weren't looking well, got in the halftime, Lamar said, look, y'all, I'm not doing this again. He came out after halftime and took command of his team. So that's the only thing that I want Lamar to do from now on. Take control of your team. Win or lose, go out your way.
Jeff J. See, now Jeff J knows that's my buddy. He said 99 needs to step up. Wait now. He
Listen,
is tied. Let me finish. 99 is tied with Kyle Van Noy. I know he played one more game than Kyle Van Noy has played, but he is tied currently with Kyle Van Noy with 8 sacks, leading our team. Okay.
You've been waiting all your life to say that, haven't you? You've been waiting all your life to say, oh, Daffy always leading the Ravens in sacks.
I said he's
But the
tied.
question, right? But you've been waiting your life to say this. But the question wasn't what have you done previously. It's who needs to step their game up.
You're right. Kyle Van Noy needs to step his game up because there's no way that he should have 8 sacks.
He's 33 years old.
I know.
But Jeff J, you're 100% correct, and this is not a negative thing. You need to step your game up so you can play more than 15 snaps in a game. That is unacceptable. And no, it is and I'm not saying it's all on Odafe, but you need to leave no doubt in this coaching staff's mind that you can't take me out of these games. Mm-hmm. You need to show them during practice that, if we take Odafe out, there's going to be issues. There's no way, and me as not an Odafe Owe fan, there is no way that this young man should be playing 15 snaps in a game.
Exactly.
He by far is your best pass rusher. And don't tell me we thought it was going to be a running type of game. He sets the edge. That is also a part of his job. Set the edge versus the run. So yes, he needs to step it up.
I know. Jeff J, you're speaking nothing but facts, and I can't argue here. We have a question from Derek White. Go ahead and drop your questions in because we are already beyond the 35-minute mark. So we're just going to take a few more. I know time goes fast, and I haven't even asked mine. Stick around because I have a very important question.
We're gonna hit it to the end. No time limit. We no limit soldiers. Ain't no time limit around here.
This is why I am exhausted because.
Listen, I'll be exhausted till I start streaming. When I start streaming and I start talking football, I start getting hyped and pumped up. Like I'm amped and I'm ready to go. So let's do it.
Derek White wants to know, are we stashing Keaton Mitchell for the playoffs? When will our coaching staff see that our identity and recipe for success is the running game? I need Lamar's mama to
to FaceTime him.
Mm-hmm. Before every game. I don't believe, good question, Derek. I don't believe that we are stashing players. And the reason I say that is because last year it was told to me when I asked, why aren't the Ravens playing Odell Beckham Jr.? Oh, we're just kind of stashing him into the playoffs. And we just kind of, he's come off of an injury and we're being gentle with him. And that's why he's not getting a handful of looks and targets. Oh, okay. Postseason comes around. And how much did we utilize OBJ? Very little. Mm-hmm. So from that experience, I said, oh, so there is really no such thing as stashing. It's just, this is how the Ravens underutilize their players. So with Keaton Mitchell, I've not heard anything about a setback. I've not heard anything about him, needing additional time to heal from his injury. When he came back 4 weeks ago, he was a full participant. So I don't think that we're stashing him. I just think that this is another instance of the Ravens not really utilizing their players effectively. What about you, Hendo?
I mean, I agree with you. Coach staff not knowing what to do with their players. Like, you bring Keaton Mitchell back, you put him on the active roster, understandably. And I said, listen, set him out for the year, me personally. But if you're going to make him active and bring him into the game, give him a couple of carries. Because what you cannot do is you can't have him come in and run back a couple of kickoffs during games and then in the playoffs insert him and think that he's going to run the ball 10 times in a game. That's not how muscle memory works. That's not how getting into football shape works. He can practice all he wants, but you insert him into a playoff game where the stakes are the highest and expect him to perform when he hasn't carried the ball in a real game all season long in well over a year. That's not how it works. The Ravens front office, they just, to me, don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They do certain things and use those things as crutches and excuses. Me personally, I think John Harbaugh does a lot of these moves to have built-in excuses for when things don't happen. So if the Ravens were to go in the playoffs and lose and Derrick Henry rushed for a certain amount of yards and people ask about Keaton Mitchell, he'd be like, oh, well, I was trying to save him and it just didn't work out. This is not how the game plan worked for us. And the game plan
Yeah.
hasn't worked for us for a very long time.
Yeah. I have a question. And this one came from someone who
Yes, he should
watched.
be fired.
I have a question. And this question came from someone who watched one of a recent stream. And I
Somebody
said
come.
I was going to ask it tonight. And I want
Mhm.
everyone, weigh in, give your honest assessment, let me know how you feel about it. Last night we talked in the stream, we talked quite a bit about accountability. Accountability for John Harbaugh, EDC, other players, except some of the players, etc. And the comment was, why is it that we don't hold Lamar Jackson accountable? And we hold everyone else accountable, but why is it that we don't hold him accountable? And so I want to know from that, what are your thoughts? Do you believe that this fan base or you personally, do you hold Lamar Jackson accountable for his mistakes when he makes them? Or do you give him kind of a pass because, hey, he really is just that dude. He's really that good. Kind of let me know in the chat where you stand with that. And I'll start with you, Hendo.
For me personally, I believe that I hold him accountable, just like the Philadelphia Eagles game. Like I said, he missed a lot of easy throws. There was some time during the AFC Championship game. I was most critical of Lamar. That's right. I was most critical of Lamar because listen, the throwing in the triple coverage, that ain't it. Like you are so far in your progression as a quarterback, you should know better than that. I don't care if he put his hand up or not. I do think that I'm critical of Lamar, but I don't go in on Lamar as deep as I do for some other players because we've said this before. When you have players that make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has bad play. But I think that the culmination of Lamar's bad plays versus his good plays. Now, he can miss a pass during a game, but I guarantee you he's going to make an unbelievable throw to make up for it. Rashad Bateman, same thing. I was on Rashad Bateman for dropping a touchdown pass. The very next play, he came back and caught the touchdown. He redeemed himself. It's just certain other players, they don't have that redeeming quality. They don't have play that equals out for them. So that's why you don't hear us talking about Lamar as much. But if you actually listen to what we say, I say it all the time. Lamar needs to take control of this team. Stop worrying about what other people aren't doing. And at times he can be better. Everyone can be better. So to me, I think that I hold Lamar personally accountable for what he does. Now, as far as the Ravens fan base, some people, you could say the slightest thing, oh, why are you blaming anything on Lamar? Like some people are really sensitive about the Lamar issue. I will admit that. Some people overly critical. Like I think there is a healthy balance of coming from all sides when it comes to the critique of Lamar Jackson. But for me personally, yeah, I critique Lamar. I just critique the people that consistently fail each and every week, each and every season. So therein lies the difference when I'm talking about a John Harbaugh versus when I'm talking about a Lamar. And the same person that asked that question, the question can be asked of them. Do you hold John Harbaugh and EDC accountable like it appears that you hold Lamar? Because the people that say EDC and Harbaugh, the reason that the team is successful, seem to be the same ones that say, let's get Lamar out of here. I go into the Baltimore Ravens website, and I'm not going to say which people it is, but it's clear people that some of us don't like Lamar. And to this day, what he's done this season say we need to trade him. He's not ready. He's not worth it. Like he's going to fail. So listen, if you don't like him, you don't like him. If you don't think that we're criticizing him enough, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I absolutely hold Lamar Jackson accountable. And
Right.
when Hendo and I live streamed the Eagles game and he was off, I said it. I said, okay, wait, Lamar, you can't overthrow your targets. You can't continue to miss them. You got to make
Right.
that throw. And even in the after game, the post game recap, I've mentioned it. When Lamar does great, I'm there. I'm one of the first ones celebrating him and his accomplishments and all that he has accomplished. But I'm also one who's fair and to say, no, Lamar Jackson is not without spot or wrinkle. He's not free from that. He makes mistakes. He has areas to where he can grow, but name one quarterback who doesn't.
Right.
Every quarterback in this league misses their targets at some
Right.
point. Every quarterback in the league turns the ball over at some
Facts.
point. Every
Facts.
quarterback misses or misreads a defense at some point.
Right.
That's the reality. So, but what Lamar does, he more than makes up for it. Like Hendo was saying, he more than makes up for it. When he realizes he made a mistake, he comes right back on the field and tries to correct it the next time. That for me is something notable, as opposed to our offensive lineman, I won't name a name, who just continues to collect penalties out there.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and listen, if you watch other teams, Patrick Mahomes routinely misses wide open, and he's supposed to be the greatest quarterback in the league, possibly the greatest quarterback ever. He routinely misses players that are wide open. Joe Burrow, who some people are still trying to push for MVP of the league, he has elite talent offensively, and he misses a lot of passes, and he turns the ball over. Like people are saying, oh, the Bengals have scored 99 points in their last 3 games and lost all 3 of them, but nobody's talking about that interception that turned the tide in the game. Nobody's talking about that Pittsburgh game where he fumbled twice. He threw an interception. He fumbled twice. One fumble was returned for a touchdown. They're not talking about all of these things. All they're talking about is look at his numbers. But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, it's always, why isn't he criticized enough? Why are people babying him? Why are they not giving him his just? Why are they not negging him for the things that he's doing wrong? But when it comes to any other quarterback in this league that has more weapons offensively, it's always they'll get him next time. Well, Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl a few years back, so we'll give him some grace. And because Lamar has not gone to a Super Bowl just yet, these are the reasons people feel like that is a reason that they can sit there and say the things that they say and criticize him.
yeah,
He is the best quarterback in the league right now by far. Jared Goff turning the ball over like crazy. But yet and still, he gets grace. And he's being carried by his run game. But all we hear with Lamar Jackson is, well, he's only doing this well because Derrick Henry's here. Apparently not, because there have been games where Derrick Henry's been shut down. And Lamar led us to victory with his passing. But they're not going to talk about that, though.
I'm going to take a second here, Derek White. I happen to disagree with you on this.
Facts.
What is the point of bringing in a star, elite running back in Derrick Henry, who, by all accounts, stats and all, show that he is not washed. He is not, old news. He's good to go. He can still get the job done. So why do we have to run Lamar more? And I know what he said his mom told him. I know Lamar said, so I'm not here to dispute his mother. Let me be clear on that. I am not here to dispute her.
Baker Mayfield said his mama is intense. He said, I don't want no parts of that.
That's right. And so Baker, I remember that. And so I'm not here to dispute her at all, but I would prefer, my preference would be, Lamar, you run less. Derrick Henry, you run more. And how do we get Derrick Henry to run more and be effective when he runs? You have a better performing offensive line. That's how. They're able to push those D linemen back. They're able to create those lanes for the running backs to go through. And that's how you can run your running back as opposed to your quarterback more. That would be my preference. And I think that's the secret to success for this team. But here again, when the O-line falters and they go up against elite defenses and they're just not able to withstand and do their job and they're not able to hold up, we then now have to put the onus on Lamar Jackson to run more because he's so elusive. I don't like that formula, but that seems to be the Ravens' way.
Listen, and this is not against you, Derek.
Yeah, it's not against you.
But Lamar Jackson is number one in the league in passing inside the pocket. He's number one in the league passing outside the pocket. He's number one in the league when getting blitzed. He's number one in passing when he's not getting blitzed. Why on earth does he have to run more? He is the best at throwing the ball with probably the least amount of talent at the wide receiver position. Number one. So why is it on him to have to run more? Why isn't it on these coaches to get the running back involved? Why isn't it on the coaching staff or the general managers to bring in better talent to block for Lamar so that they can run the ball better? Why isn't it on this organization to bring in better weapons for Lamar to throw to so he can get some easy check down passes that turn into touchdowns? Why is it on Lamar and not on anybody else? And I think that's the problem that we have when we come to assessing Lamar Jackson is he needs to do more. This man is having a career year. a career year, better than either one of his MVP seasons, in my personal opinion. And yet, and still, we're saying, Lamar, you need to do more. Now, you're doing the best that you've ever done. You have the Ravens in position to make the playoffs and possibly go to a Super Bowl, but we need more of you. Why is it that we don't need more of the coaching staff? Why is it that we don't need more of the general manager? Why is it that we don't need more from the owner or the director of player personnel? But it's always Lamar. We need you to do more. And when the team fails, it's never, hey, these guys let Lamar down. It's always, well, Lamar should have did this. Why didn't Lamar do that? Well, why didn't the coaching staff run the ball in the last 6 years in the playoffs?
Speaking of stats really quickly, and Hendo was over there preaching. He was. And the super chat came through because he certainly was. He was preaching there. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I really appreciate it. Let me go to that and pull that up on the screen. Thanks, Donovan. Donovan says, I have an issue when mistakes are magnified over his teammates and coaches failing to do their jobs. Lamar makes mistakes, but the difference is he still does his job. I need that from the rest. Excellent point. Agreeing totally in sync here with Hendo. And I want to show, and thank you again for the $10 donation. We appreciate it. If you want to also leave a donation, you will get priority for your comment. There is a donation, a super chat down on my page as well as Hendo's. Go ahead, leave a donation. We'll give you priority if you have a certain comment that you would like us to display. I'm going to share some stats since we are talking about Lamar really quickly that I saw earlier. Mm-hmm. So this right here was on Twitter, and Lamar Jackson, number 1 in PFF offensive passing grade, number 1 in yards per attempt, number 2 in passing yards, 2 in passing touchdowns, 2 in the least amount of interceptions, but he can't throw. Yeah, right.
But we need him to run.
We need him to run more. We need that. That's what it says. We need him to run more. So that's kind of it. When I see things like this, and I like to see things for myself. Mm-hmm. I put this in proper perspective for what it is. Lamar is out there doing everything that he can do and more. But even still, to your point, Hendo, like you said, it's still always, well, Lamar, can't you do just a little bit more? Please?
More. Oh, he tries. Like we talked about this yesterday. He threw a pinpoint pass down the sideline to Nelson Aguilar, which if we'd have got down that close, touchdown. Then you add in the 7 possible points from Justin Tucker. It's 14 points right there.
Yeah.
Like he's done so much to help us win games, and the rest of the team has let him down. He has not been perfect, but he's made the plays to win the game. He's made winnable plays to win each and every game this season. And if it hasn't been for the defense letting us down or the coaching staff letting us down, we would be first in the AFC North. But yet and still, we just can't get over these hurdles, and we expect Lamar to bear the weight of this. He is a human being. And I don't care how cold he appears or how confident he appears, he's still human. And when you lead a team and you give your best and leave it all out on the field, for everybody to always blame you for your team's failures, even though your team has failed you, it has to be a hard thing. It has to be hard to sit there and just relax. And every time you turn on YouTube, every time you turn on the TV and go to a sportscast or the news, appreciate you, turn on the news, somebody's talking smack about you. Like saying that you're just not playing well. And even if you're playing well, they bring up your playoff record. Like your playoff record isn't all about you. It isn't all about you, because they love to say, well, if Lamar just played well during the playoffs and they lost, it would be a different story. He played well versus the Kansas City Chiefs. He played well versus the first game against the Tennessee Titans. He just didn't have help. But yet and still, it's all about Lamar's playoff record and what he's not doing instead of what he has done for this organization. And to a lot of people within the organization, so-called fans, this is your starting quarterback. Listen, I'm not a fan of every move that EDC makes. I'm not a fan of every person that they bring in here. But when they become a Baltimore Raven, I cheer for them. Yes. Whether I like them or not, they're a part of my team, and I want them to do well. For you to be a fan of this team and talk about Lamar ain't it, they need to trade him, Lamar this, Lamar that. Are you really a fan of this team? Are you or are you a fan of this head coach and this ownership? Are you fans of them and just hoping that they do better in what they're doing, and you wish for Lamar's downfall because, quote unquote, you may want a different type quarterback to come up in here?
Exactly. 100% agree. Thank you for that, Hendo, because you were spot on, and everyone is in the chat saying, "Preach, Hendo, preach." Thank you for the super chat, 199. Let us know if you have a comment that you'd like us to read.
Facts.
But thank you for the support. We really, really do appreciate it. There was a really good question by Spiritual War Exposed. He said, why does the coaching staff draw up all pass plays over 30 yards? They have a terrible scheme." That is something that I said, and I'm agreeing with you. When you know that you have an O-line that just can't hold on, you don't need to wait to scheme 30 yards and more passing plays. That's the O-line they can't handle it. So you, Coach Todd Monken, need to figure out another way to get the job done. You need to figure out short, intermediate passes that don't require the offensive line to take much time against these elite D linemen. We do have another super chat. Let me read that, and then we'll get to
I'm
Hendo.
sorry. Let me talk about this for a second. Listen, yes, and I'm just gonna say I agree with you 100%. Even last season when Yolanda said we had a better offensive line, because we did. I'm pick with you, Yolanda. Calm down. Even last season, Lamar came into a press conference. I think it was after one of the losses, the loss where Jacksonville. I think it was the Jacksonville loss, and he said, "I'm not understanding why we have these long developing routes." He said this, and you would have thought that Todd Monken would have learned from last season. Like, we don't have the guys up front to block long enough to let these plays go 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. But yet and still, we keep doing it. And it is real sabotage, but we can get to super chat now. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yep. Let's go
Yeah, it is
here.
sabotage. 100%.
Spiritual War, thank you for the $10 donation. We really appreciate it. And he wants to know, do you think the Ravens have a scheme problem? Ooh. What do the Ravens look like if Lamar doesn't turn those broken down plays into 50-plus yard gains? Again, Lamar's doing more with less. Why not draw up faster developing routes when the O-line can't hold up? Thank you again for your donation. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take this one first. I'm sorry. And this is only because, and I'm going to, I don't want to give Todd Monken grace because I think there are times where he just loses his mind completely. But no matter what offensive coordinator you bring into Baltimore, as long as John Harbaugh is the head coach, there is a certain scheme, a certain pattern, some schematics that they have to operate their offense by. Now, you can change the passing design, the passing concepts, but the Baltimore Ravens by nature have an offensive philosophy that they run by, and it is by John Harbaugh's design. So yes, schematically, that is a real problem for us. I don't understand why we don't get the quick hitches or use the screen game more, because we finally mastered after 15 years, we've mastered how to run a proper screen. So I don't know why they don't utilize that more, especially against like the Eagles, where you have the defensive line that's in the backfield like that. So it has a lot to do with having older coaches, in my opinion. And I'm not an ageist because I'm almost old myself, but I just think the mentality, don't laugh, I just think the mentality of some of these older coaches is they still want to play the game the way that it was played 20 years ago. And that's just not the case. These defensive linemen, these linebackers are too fast now to
Yes.
run the plays that you used to play. And then to me, just the wherewithal to say, you know what? The Eagles per se, or the Steelers or the Browns defensive line is getting into the backfield a little bit too long. Let me stop calling plays over 10 yards with the route concepts. But for some reason, we just can't seem to make that adjustment during the game. It's like we have a game plan, win, lose, or draw, we're sticking to it. And they just don't seem to be able to adjust to it.
Yeah. Brandon, thank you for being here. Why is Lamar
Appreciate it.
Jackson getting talked about? Did I miss something? He's done well this year. Earlier in the stream, I asked a question that someone asked of me on one of a previous stream that I did with Hendo, and the question was from a person who watched the show. They said in that particular show we were talking about accountability from the front office to EDC, from the coaches, EDC, and some other players. We didn't necessarily mention Lamar Jackson. And the person asked, you guys talk a lot about accountability. How come you don't say anything about or hold Lamar Jackson accountable? He makes mistakes. So I posed the question to everyone tonight. What are your thoughts about Lamar Jackson making mistakes? Do you hold him accountable? Do you think this fan base holds Lamar Jackson accountable? So that's the reason for the conversation.
And another thing that's not talked about a lot, with the way that the Baltimore Ravens, in my opinion, as it is past their bedtime, in my opinion, have failed Lamar Jackson throughout his career, you never hear him throw anybody under the bus. You never hear him complain or cry about the lack of talent that's around him. He doesn't say anything. He just goes about his business. If they win, lose, draw, whatever he gets the criticism for it, he sits back there and he takes it. He never says anything like, listen, this coaching staff is lacking, this offensive line can't block, and the dudes that you brought in at skill position players aren't very skillful. He just does his job and he keeps it moving. He is, and for me, I think this is what frustrates a lot of Ravens fans when people start talking about Lamar. For all intents and purposes, he is a very respectful young man. He's the only player in the NFL that I can remember before others started doing it that would call him Miss Lisa or yes ma'am. Like he would talk to people with respect where he didn't have to. And this young man is very respectful. He never gets in trouble. You never hear any ill words about Lamar Jackson, but everybody's always coming for that man's neck. And he always holds his head high and he displays a certain dignity that a lot of the quarterbacks around this league do not display.
Right.
But yet and still, we're here talking about, why doesn't Lamar get enough blame for things that go on in this organization? Well, it ain't his organization. He's just the quarterback.
Speak on it. Jared Green, thank you for being here. Bills traded and got Josh Allen, a wide receiver. Do you see what happens when your organization invests in your quarterback and gets them a wide receiver? But yet the Ravens, we get a washed corner, a has-been cornerback. That's what we get. That's what we get. And Davon.
I'm sorry. Let me get to say about the Josh Allen thing. For the Buffalo fans that may trickle in because they can't keep Lamar's name out their mouth. Pause. For me, it's a funny thing, and it's a funny, and this is not a shot at Josh because I like Josh Allen. I keep telling Bills fans I like Josh Allen. The funny thing is, Josh Allen first year sucked. Second year he did better. His second year, they brought in Stephon Diggs. He became out of this world. Now that Stephon Diggs is gone, it's like, the cancer's out the locker room. Now his numbers are down dramatically. Now it's all about, it's not about statistics. It's about how he's playing overall. It's not about gaudy numbers. Now that he doesn't have that wide receiver just to throw the ball up to, now it's about his play and the winning percentage. But when Lamar did it, it was all about, look at those numbers. Ew, those aren't MVP type worthy numbers. But now that it's flipped, it's a whole different narrative. But you can see how a star wide receiver, an alpha, a true number one, can change the trajectory of a quarterback and his future. And unfortunately, we have not done that for Lamar. But next season, when we get T. Higgins, it's going to be another story.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to B Squared 86 Ghost, gifted 5 Playmaker memberships to my channel. Thank you very much, B Squared. Thank you for, number one, for being here. And I'm really appreciative of you for gifting 5 channel membership. Thank you. So the ones who received the channel membership, Jose, and we also have Derek got a channel membership. Jay Soft got a channel membership, and my guy, Panthers Prime Podcast. Okay. I appreciate you, Panthers Prime Podcast, for being here. Who do y'all play? Who do the Panthers play tomorrow? And are y'all going to
Chiefs?
I know. I know.
No. The Eagles. They play the Eagles. I'm sorry, they play the Eagles.
No, I thought it was the Chiefs.
They played the Chiefs last week and lost.
That's right.
They got the Eagles.
You got the Eagles on deck. Are you winning? Are you winning, Panthers Prime Podcast? Are you winning?
Can y'all do it?
Anton also received a gifted membership, and I saw we have a super chat. Let me go to that. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Ghosty.
I appreciate you, Brandon.
Thank you.
That's got to be Brandon. Ghosty.
I know. Thank you, Ghosty. $25.86. If you have a comment or a question that you'd like us to read, please feel free to leave that in the comment section, in the chat. We're getting ready to wrap up. If you have any final questions for us.
I got a question. Jay, why you coming at me, Jay? The Panthers aren't getting T. Higgins, bruh. We're getting T. Higgins.
Yeah.
I don't know why you think you getting T. Higgins. You have Adam Thielen.
Oh, thank you, Spiritual War Exposed. Chargers play the Chiefs. Okay, who's winning that game? Chiefs or the Chargers? Who do you guys think will win?
So,
I mean, the Chargers look pretty good.
Here's the thing, though. Chiefs, they find ways to win, right? They find ways to win. We need to get up to that 5th seed.
Did you see Davon?
That's right. That's
We
right.
sending y'all
Cuz
bait.
they Cuzzo know what's up. Cuzzo know what's up.
Okay. I
Listen,
come here
listen.
just for the
Carolina
laughs.
Pan-
I come here for
Carolina
the laughs.
Panthers. The Carolina Panthers love former Baltimore Ravens. Y'all love former Ravens. So guess what? We will gladly, because y'all are our little cousins. Like we love y'all as little cousins. We're gonna give you Bateman to upgrade that wide receiving core.
Spiritual war, the Eagles and all that. There's something. There's
They 10 and
something.
2.
They're at 10 and 2,
They
and they
10
didn't
and
get there
2.
for nothing. The Bills are 10 and 2
They
as
won.
well.
They've won 8 straight games,
So I
and they
mean,
Ravens.
and we didn't beat them. So
Yeah, in fact.
we didn't beat them. But
So we need to get up to. We need to get up. We need to get up to. We need to get up to the 5th seed because we need to get out this hole of playing the Steelers in the first round of the playoff. I don't think that there's something.
that
I don't
is
think that there's something that I really want.
so that's my final question. If we are the
Appreciate you.
6th seed and we have to play the Steelers, because if we're the 5th seed, then who do we play?
Houston. I
Okay.
think we would much rather play Houston than play
then
than
okay.
Pittsburgh.
So if we are the 6th seed and we have to play the Steelers in
All right.
Pittsburgh, who wins? So that was my question.
I don't know. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game since like 2016. So
Yeah, but they have the Ravens card, so
yeah,
there's
but
that.
still, it's like two franchises that can't win in the playoffs. You flip a coin, or we could go down to the 7th seed and get Buffalo first round.
I don't want Buffalo.
Yeah,
No,
I want Buffalo first round.
Buffalo in January.
Either
Buffalo
way,
in
there's a possibility we're going to have to travel to Kansas City
right
or Buffalo.
or Buffalo.
Either way.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, first of all, this is Baltimore. That Buffalo weather don't mean nothing to us.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
all the
20
players aren't
degrees
from
right now.
Baltimore, though.
But they've been here long enough to be
Not
cold.
all of them.
It's cold right now.
How long has Nate Wiggins been here? And we're going to trot him out on the field.
But we're not counting on him to have a starring role. But
yes, they are. We're the Ravens. We draft a first-round cornerback for a reason. That's what the Ravens do. Maybe a different team. Maybe your answer is right. But the Ravens, they draft a first-round corner when you have a deficit in O-line.
But okay, who he got to go at? Mac Hollins?
Whoever. My point is, you got players out there who, but
Big Reg.
Big Reg.
I'm kicking you. About to get kicked out. You'll be the first person kicked out the Discord.
I was going to say, you don't kick people out of the Discord, and you tell that all the time. Speaking of Discord, how do people?
Because he's capping. He's capping right now. Like,
speaking of getting kicked out of a Discord, how do people even get into your Discord, Hendo? If you would take a minute to share that.
Yes. If you would like to join the Discord, if you would like to be a part of this budding community, just go over to patreon.com/ROUG. And for as little as $5 a month, you can become a patron. You get a lot of benefits. You can join the Discord. Like I said, once you're in, you don't get kicked out. I'm not kicking Reg out. He's known for talking a lot of nonsense in the Discord. You can also join the Fantasy Football Pick'ems League. You can join the Fantasy Football Dynasty League as well. Just be a part of this community. Like, we're here to help each other out. We talk smack. We have conversations. Darn it, sometimes it seems like 24 hours a day. It's always somebody in there, and it's really a great time. So if you're wanting to be a part of this community, if you want to help support this channel even further, make sure you come in. And if you don't like it and you come in, you can always decide to opt out, and you'll still be in the Discord. So there is a benefit to it.
Shout out to Osmond, one of my channel members. It's best we face the Steelers. That will make our Super Bowl victory even better. Okay. Be careful what you ask for, but let's okay.
Listen,
that's where we stand right now. Let's see how we do in 2 weeks.
The sweetest Super Bowl would be Pittsburgh, then Buffalo, then KC, and then take out the Eagles in the Super Bowl. That would be a perfect Super Bowl for me.
Yeah,
beat all four of those.
What, you don't think the Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl? If it comes down to the NFC championship game,
right?
Eagles, Lions, who's winning? Let us know in the chat.
Only because the Lions, to me, the last couple of weeks, yes, they've won, but they've let the teams come back, and they should have lost on Thanksgiving, but their defense is decimated. Mm-hmm. And I think just with the offensive line and the defensive line that the Philadelphia Eagles have, they may hold the key. So,
all right. We're going to take a couple more comments. 86 Go says, he's saying this in response to
Right,
Big
right,
Reg. We're not making the playoffs,
right.
but KBK is going to be a
Gonna be
lockdown
a lot.
corner. Yeah,
Fact,
yeah.
fact,
That's it. We keeping
fact.
receipts, Big Reg. We keeping receipts.
100%,
Well,
100%.
family, thank you so much for being here tonight. We
Day
live
31.
streamed. We're almost to day 31. We're almost there, right?
It's
We're
not.
right.
It's not 30.
31 is
It's
right
not
around
31
the
today.
corner. It's right around the
It's not
corner.
31 today.
It's not. No, we're not at day 31. Hendo, thank you for joining the show. Please let everyone know where they can find you and what you have going on social media.
You can find me at the Rogue Pod on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Come on over to Blue Sky. It's a better version of X, I think. I don't be on it too much, but I've heard. Um, I normally put out videos throughout the week, but because somebody has me live streaming each and every day of this month, the videos have not come. But I'm thinking about putting together something tonight. Depends on if I can sleep or not. I'll put something together for tomorrow morning. But also, you can find me Monday evenings at 9 p.m. on the Ravens Roundtable on Sip to Tally with Coach Evans, Jose and Bradley from Lunch Break Hot Take, and Chris Just Joking from the Deep Cover Podcast. Then on Tuesdays at 9 p.m., you can catch me with Suge on Suge Night 323. Myself, he, and Bradley do a Baltimore Steelers, Ravens, Panthers podcast where we just hang out, have a bunch of fun. It's a good time, We just
Yeah.
out here just trying to give people something to watch. So come check us out if you don't have anything to do during those times. I guarantee you'll have some fun.
Awesome. Yes, Osmond, I do want us to see us win the Super Bowl that way. And Alicia Thomas, thank you for being here. She is a Lions fan. She's like, y'all keep the faith. Who we're
all
going
right,
to.
all right, all right. Since Alicia say I take it back, I take out the Eagles portion and I insert the Lions into that because I want Alicia to be able to feel that feeling of having their team go to the Super Bowl. I know this is something that no one in your town has ever seen in life, so I want you all to have that gratification. You guys have won what 11 straight games for the first
Yeah,
time in history.
they're on a
This is
roll. The
this is the
Lions.
best record that the Lions have ever had in the
Ooh,
franchise's history. So if you
yeah.
guys, I want you guys to make the Super Bowl. I don't want you to win it, but I would like for you guys to get there for the first time because you are one of the, I believe, 4 or 5 franchises that have never been to a Super Bowl. So
Okay.
I'm praying for you. I'm hoping that you get that joy, but just know that defeat outweighs that joy. So when we beat y'all, you're not gonna be as
Exactly.
happy.
Osmond says, Hendo, when do
Ooh-wee.
you sleep? I don't know.
I don't honestly. I really don't sleep. I
I don't
try.
know. I don't
Like
know.
last night, I think I was trying to go to sleep and I looked at the clock and it was like 3:30. And I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna get up and watch some TV and just watch TV for the rest of the morning.
Wow. Thank you,
Because I'm thinking
Tora.
about doing all this streaming. Like it's wrecking my
Yes.
nerves.
It's not. It's not. It's not. Thank you, Tora. And we will see you all very soon. And by very soon, I mean
Don't say it.
tomorrow.
Don't say it.
Make sure your post notifications are turned on. Do us a favor and you exit the building. Please go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the
Hit that
stream.
like button.
Thank
Hit
you.
that like button. Hit it.
Hit the like button for us. And you guys know what I'm going to say. Take care, stay safe, and always remember, go
Fire
Ravens.
Harbaugh.
Go Ravens.
Fire EDC.